Her father told her, "Draw your own box, Meghan, and put a tick in that."
What a lie. More bullshit.
She has described, too, how her parents instilled in her the importance of giving back. Both my parents came from little, so they made a choice to give a lot. Buying turkeys for homeless shelters at Thanksgiving, delivering meals to patients in hospice care. This is what I grew up seeing.
Hold on, but your parents weren't living together. What is she talking about? It's so stupid. No. They've erased this as well.
6,000 miles away in London, Prince Harry was being raised in a rather grander style, but with some very similar values. But where Harry came from a background of enormous wealth and privilege, Meghan's family history could not have been more different, as this film can exclusively reveal. When the news of her relationship with Prince Harry broke, it was not just Meghan Markle who was pursued by the world's press. The tabloids also tracked down her half-siblings from her father's first...
I like how she goes out for public yoga after she's been harassed and harangued. She must go to yoga publicly. You know, she couldn't do yoga from inside her house or wherever, like a lot of people do, like she does now at her Montecito estate, of course. She had to go to a public yoga class just in time for when her public image was launched.
First marriage, Thomas Jr. and Samantha.
Her family is a very interesting area, and would be, I think, if we were going back in time in terms of potential royal marriages, be a bit of a problem.
Samantha gave interviews about Meghan to the media, reportedly describing her as shallow and a social climber, reports Samantha denied. And it was revealed that in 2016, Thomas was arrested and charged with menacing unlawful use of a weapon after claims he got drunk and pointed a gun at his girlfriend's head. The charges were later dropped. In contrast, Meghan's father has kept a low profile.
No one seems to be able to find Meghan's father. He's, by all accounts, completely gone to ground and has made a very good job of covering his tracks.
Despite spending a career in Hollywood, Thomas Markle is clearly a man who prefers to be behind the camera.
That's hilarious. Really? Change of identity very soon after. Must have been the check.
Meghan's dad was born far from the bright lights of LA, in the foothills of the northern Appalachian Mountains in Pennsylvania, coal mining country. His family had lived there for 4 generations. Today, this is a landscape of poverty and decline. But in the period when Thomas's family lived here, it was one of the powerhouses of America, fueling America's industrial revolution. Thousands of miners labored for a living deep underground, often working and living in terrible conditions.
Oh, so they're not even pictures of his family. I'm very, very interested because right now they're generalizing his whole family background for 4 generations when his name is a German name, and has been changed. So I'm very, very interested to see what they're going to come up with regarding this whole family background of his.
Coal patches. They were kind of dismal places. Everything was black. The refuse from the collieries after cracking the coal just blackened the entire area. It was kind of like a black moonscape.
So is this guy just a historian talking shit? It's got nothing to do with anything.
Local historian Andy
Oh my
Ulickney
God.
has researched the history of Meghan's father's family.
Oh, okay.
Today, the colliery where they worked is covered by woodland. But Andy has managed to dig out a record
Where who worked?
of Meghan's ancestors, originally called Sykes on the female side, in a local census.
We have the 1870 census of Mahoney Township in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. We have the parents Thomas Sykes and Mary Sykes, the great-great-great-grandparents of Meghan, and the daughter Martha, that's the great-great-grandmother of Meghan, who's a 3-year-old on this census.
The census reveals that Martha and her parents were born in England.
Most likely, the Sykes family came from Yorkshire. It was a coal mining region, and the name Sykes is popular up that way.
Meghan's ancestors migrated from England in the year 1869, during the reign of Prince Harry's great-great-great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. They were drawn to America by the dream of a better life.
The United States was booming. Its Civil War had ended, and the coal mines were really producing tremendously.
But I thought Thomas Markle was Dutch.
Ex-miner Perry Pillar has made a study of the living conditions
Not to mention his last name being German.
Meghan's family would have faced in Pennsylvania's coal country.
The homes would have been very, very rough in nature. It would have been made of rough lumber of the poorest quality, nailed together to create residences. There was no indoor plumbing, outhouse facilities, sometimes with open sewers. The winters got that cold that the children actually slept with the parents for body heat to keep them warm.
In the coal country, life was cheap. Accidents and deaths in the mines were common. In 1878, Meghan's great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas, died of heart failure while at work. He was just 43 and left behind 5 children.
At this point in time, Mary, Thomas's wife, would have found herself to probably have the biggest challenge of her life. She would have had to pick up any kind of side money she could to survive.
The girls will be out to work, often serving as domestics. And the boys, as soon as they hit 10, 12-year-old, they can be out in the mines as breaker boys, slate pickers, or door boys.
Somehow the family survived. And Martha Sykes, the little girl who'd arrived in America with her parents in 1869, would be Thomas Markle's great-grandmother. He would be the first in the family to escape the coal country. He married Meghan's mother.
Why are they discussing the grandparent, like his parents and grandparents? Like, why is it so far back? It doesn't explain anything regarding his lineage or regarding really the lineage of Meghan Markle. Not at all. And he has a German last name. Yeah. They've picked a certain area that relates back to the UK. Okay.
Mother Doria in LA in 1979. "20 years later, their daughter would attend the prestigious Northwestern University on the Great Lakes near Chicago,
Well, we know that didn't happen.
studying theatre and international relations.
Okay. So that just tells me this whole narrative is completely false. All of it. Because this didn't happen.
As a student, Meghan considered a career in politics, but it didn't quite turn out that way. Shortly after Prince Harry left Eton, aged 18,
Politics didn't work out, so I decided to become a Hollywood hooker.
Meghan landed one of her first jobs as glamorous suitcase girl number 24 on the glossy quiz show Deal or No Deal. It was her job to entice contestants to discover whether her suitcase contained $1 or $1 million.
Meghan has paid her dues, and the way you have to pay her dues. I mean, and she's taken jobs that I'm sure she didn't want to take. Nobody wants to be a deal or no deal girl.
Like most young actors,
Paid her dues. What? What? I thought she was very intelligent and very highly capable. Could be a politician, could be, a bananatarian, but yeah, she's on Deal or No Deal.
Meghan made compromises and struggled during her early 20s.
She's on shows in bit parts. I think she was listed on IMDb as the hot girl in something or other, an episode of Knight Rider here, CSI Miami there.
Hollywood can be a tough place for an aspiring actor. And Meghan faced a particular obstacle, as she later wrote. I wasn't black enough for the black roles, and I wasn't white enough for the white ones, leaving me somewhere in the middle as the ethnic chameleon who couldn't book a job.
And yet she could get roles. She could get roles of being Hispanic or also being white. So no, it's just, if anything, if there was ever an issue regarding your acting career, Meghan, it was because you were shit.
As she travelled the freeways of LA from audition to audition, Meghan had to get into the car each day through the boot because the doors were broken and she couldn't afford to fix them.
Yeah. You can already tell from as soon as she was of legal age, the new car that she had with that number plate, she didn't have some pickup truck. That is just laughable. Laughable. This is all just bullshit. And also, by this stage, she was with Trevor, who had money. So, makes no sense whatsoever, does it? To see how he's erased from this part of the history now, and nothing makes sense if he was to be brought in, because nothing does make sense.
Them. But difficult years too for Prince Harry.
Harry in his teens and early 20s, it was revealed that he had taken drugs and he'd been involved in drinking. He certainly went off the rails a little.
When we reflect on some of the more unfortunate headlines he attracted in his 20s, seen as a bit of a party animal, reports about smoking cannabis, obviously the whole Nazi uniform incident, you can reflect on it and see him as quite a troubled youth who hadn't come to terms with the fact that he lost his mother at such...
Yeah, it's good to brand all the bad things as just some challenges, and not take any accountability whatsoever. And also, it's interesting how they have mirrored the beginning of Nut's contract with Todge going downhill, his branding going downhill, and everyone, basically his brand being out of control and needing to garner or to rebrand, wouldn't you say, with his new girlfriend, and then the military, how he did a complete 360, of course, and then Cressida bonus, and then Nut. Seems all too timely.
Such a young age. His mother's death was clearly a defining moment in his life. Harry was hugely close to his mother. He absolutely adored her. You know, this was a little boy who, when he was at school, used to feign sick days so that he could stay at home and enjoy Mummy to himself.
Harry was wrestling with demons, all the while hounded by the press, who he partly blamed for the death of his mother.
I don't know about. I actually don't know about their schooling. Did their schooling, was it boarding, or was it that he could get dropped off and picked up to school? Yeah, weird. Anyway, sick days and having sick days off is a normal occurrence, or feigning sick days.
He clearly had mental issues that developed as a result of that. His anger, his inability to talk about his mother. His father did his very best to be around for Harry as much as possible, but this is a rebellious guy.
For Harry, his service in Afghanistan, where he did his first tour of duty in 2007, marked the start of a transformation in his life.
I mean, I've spoken to many of...
See that rebranding? And we know that he didn't actually do military duty, so rebranding.
the soldiers that served alongside him, and they thought he was a fantastic officer.
Yeah, he played PlayStation really, really well. And he played spoiled shit really, really well. Really well.
Great with his peers, great with his soldiers. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he is who he says he is. There's nothing fake about Harry.
I don't think there's any words to sort of describe it. It's just really nice to be out here. I mean, I've only been out here for a short time. I hope to be out here for a lot longer, and sort of go through it with everybody else.
He just said that he actually isn't going through it with everybody else in the military thing. He's just playing PlayStation. Hasn't been there only been there a short time to do the filming and the PR campaign, but would like to stay a bit longer to kind of get a little more involved with everyone else. That's the truth of it.
He witnessed the true horrors of war on many, many occasions.
What? Stupid bitch. He saw the horrors of war. Yeah, okay. Okay, Katie. Okay. Righto.
He'd seen, men and women die, seen men and women colleagues lose their limbs.
Did you see that Jobson nincompoop shake his head when he was saying that shit? He knows it's not true. Like, he knows this is just PR bullshit. Oh, God. Give me strength.
Sounds a cliche, but I do think he went out to Afghanistan a boy and came back a man. It was the making of him.
Yes, and you will be convinced. I will nod you of that. You will be convinced that this was the rebranding of Harry. Harry, just Harry.
Tough years lay ahead for Harry, but the army had given him a sense of purpose. Meanwhile, over in Hollywood, Meghan was about to branch out.
You want to be a hooker on Hollywood Boulevard?
Yes.
No.
In 2010, she landed a supporting role in the light-hearted film Random Encounters, where she displayed an unexpected talent for comedy.
My grandmother said, if you want to find something, you got to stop looking for it. Now she has 7 cats and her house smells like goulash. Sometimes you say things that make me want to cry.
Oh my God, that was so bad. That was so bad. Why did she use her mouth like that? That wasn't funny. There was no comedy there. Oh my God. Oh, that was awful. Okay.
Was a very low budget film.
Yes,
shot
it
for
was.
18 days. So all the comforts of a bigger project weren't there. She was just very like, yep, I got it. I'm here. I will do what you asked me to do. I know it's going to be, long hours. I know I'm not being paid a lot, but I love doing this, and I'm just going to do my best here and serve the film, not just myself.
It was great to work with her because she's a pro, and it's great to work with pros, and it makes your job easier.
That's because you're both terrible, terrible actors that can't get any good job. I mean, let's be honest. If you're considering her a pro, okay. You haven't been out much, have you?
It was lovely. We set my trailer and just giggled. Proper girl stuff. She's just vivacious. So she made it really fun.
In 2011, as she was finishing Random Encounters,
I mean, because she had such an astonishing CV by that point. I mean, that joke really she nailed it. She nailed it. The goulash, oh my God. I'm on the floor.
Megan landed a role in a new legal drama called Suits. It was a break.
No, don't shush. Okay, hold on. We're back.
Breakthrough. For the first time, she would play a character, Rachel Zane, whose background mirrored her own.
She gets to play biracial lawyer, and
Wait.
parents were cat.
Wait. Did they just say that the role of Rachel on Suits mirrored her own life? Yeah, Deal or No Deal was a, yeah.
Cast as a black man and a white woman, and so there's absolutely this is my life, and I finally get to do this thing that I've never gotten to do before, which is play me.
That same year, Harry also...
How would that guy know anything about that? And that's not true whatsoever. What, because she has a biracial role that was set up for her. Okay.
also had a new role to play. Best man at the wedding of his brother, William, to Kate Middleton. A few months later, Megan, too, was busy at a wedding, her own, to film producer Trevor Engelson. The two had been in a relationship for 7 years.
The first time they ever bring him into the documentary is this. So 7 years they've been together. That whole her going through paying her dues, going through her no career, nothing burger of a career. He wasn't there at all. How strange is that?
They got married in Jamaica.
Which we know didn't happen, which we know is a fabrication. So I've done a video on that as well.
It was a wonderful wedding. They had about 100 or so friends. They got married on the beach. There was lots of drinking and fun and jollity. And pretty soon after the actual wedding itself, the relationship got into trouble. Megan was leaving LA a lot to go to Toronto to film Suits, and the long distance was really taking its toll.
Right, so this is the truth of it. This is what I've said as well, because of what Nut has proven in her interviews during that time. She actually was living in LA. She didn't move to Toronto to film Suits. She was flying over there. It wasn't all the time. It was like, I think they would do it every few months or so. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't long distance. It wasn't an issue, especially when you're married and you've been together for 7 years. Yeah, the relationship doesn't make any sense. pretty much. And she didn't move to Toronto. So that's another lie in the narrative later on, that she moved to Toronto. Even her brother says that she moved to Toronto, and her family says she moved to Toronto, which isn't true. Do you see? Do you see the players? Do you see the liars and the lies? Yeah, so let's go on.
And they did end up divorcing.
For Meghan, divorce proved a bonding experience with her Random Encounters co-star, Abby Wathan.
Megan and I have both had divorces, bad first marriages. The marriages would call her in her as a woman.
Harry also had a long who he dated on and off for 7 years between 2010. He then went out with Cressida Bonus for 2 years.
Prince Harry's always gone out with pretty bright women. Chelsea Davy, his previous girlfriend, was trained as a lawyer. Cressida Bonus, somebody with a wise head on her shoulders. He's always gone for women who can challenge him and who he thinks have got something to say for themselves.
But
I doubt that very much.
both women struggled with the attention their relationship with Harry brought them.
For any royal girlfriend, while it sounds attractive to buy into the whole trappings of royal life and fame, it comes with a negative, and that is real intrusion into your private life. It hasn't been easy to hold down a relationship.
Is tough.
The thing is, I mean, as you can tell from even Kate's relationship and our marriage and Harry's relationships, it's easy to keep things private and hidden from the public eye. So any of this sort of narrative of hard to keep down a relationship is absolute bullshit, unless it's to do with the underdevelopment or the flaws of the person based on how they've been brought up within the institution. That would be the only thing that would actually make sense, but they don't want any liability on the palace or the royal family. So if there was a genuine relationship, that would be the problem.
But Meghan would not be intimidated by publicity.
Well, she really had none prior, and she's been needing it for all of her so-called career and most of her life. So she would be welcoming it, wouldn't you say?
35-year-old Meghan, who stars in the TV drama Suits, has reportedly been dating Prince Harry since this past summer.
Ooh.
Sources say
Americans have reacted with a mixture of excitement and amusement to Harry and Meghan's relationship, as in this jokey discussion on daytime TV.
But I think
Can you imagine if you be Harry and I'm gonna be the Queen Queen Elizabeth, since I got this right? Your girlfriend. Okay.
Grandmother, I met this beautiful woman. She just happens to be mixed race.
In fact, the Queen is said to be delighted by the relationship.
All she wants.
That's so funny because, that show excerpt is as racist as the article. So that supposedly came out and started this whole race baiting narrative. So but it's against white people, so I guess it's not so racist, right? Yeah, beats me. But that was a